And yes, we did it. We are now at CircleCityCon 10.0. It has been a long journey to get to this point, and it has just been amazing to to see the support from so many people, and to have staff and volunteers and speakers and so many people who have put their heart and soul into a community, into a conference, doing something simply for the passion of it, simply because they love this. They love the community. They love building, each other up. They love trying to share their knowledge, to learn new things, and to grow and to see each other grow. And it's just been 10 years of seeing this community really show a lot of love. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. We had an entire pandemic to have to work through. We've had, just a lot of interesting, unique challenges, learning to run an organization and learning to run, an outfit that grew from about 100 attendees to, at our peak, 750. And it has been an amazing journey. And it really is thanks to everybody that has supported, everybody that has volunteered and worked without pay, without any profit involved here, completely giving everything back to the community. And so, whether you're the first time, this is your first CircleCityCon, whether this is you've been with us all the time, we thank you very much for your support. We thank you for coming, and we hope that you enjoy this conference, as it will be, sadly, our last. But we are going to put on a good show for you, and we have some wonderful talks, we have some wonderful trainings, and some fun shenanigans, I'm sure, to take place. So I'm going to go ahead and go and show you a few of those things. Of course, I'm at the end of my presentation because it's Google Slides, showing you the secret sauce behind the curtain. But hey, we started on time this time, so we already broke a CircleCityCon tradition. So this is CircleCityCon 10. And we've talked a little bit about CircleCityCon: community, fun, learning, and inclusion. When I think about the different people we have involved here at the conference, different age groups, races, and everything, orientations, it's just really great to see everyone, come together and build something that is for truly everybody. It is, although stressful to put on a conference, it's really great every year, whether it was in person or on virtual, seeing everybody come together and seeing new faces every year, and seeing different people who don't look or sound like me. And it's really great to build that kind of community who wants to come together and learn, and have fun, and just build that community. And that's what CircleCityCon has always been about. And we've been doing that for 10 years. And speaking of that, there are folks who have helped us, from the very beginning, to help build this conference. The board primarily, except for Alyssa Miller. She's a recent addition to the board. But the Grape Ape, we have Steve D3, Dr. Bearsek, and myself. We've been around since year one, organizing and being co-founders of this event. Alyssa Miller, of course, coming in the last few years here to help lead and provide great leadership as well in these last few years. But the board takes a lot of leadership and decision making, and then, of course, some of the folks we'll see later carry out a lot of the day-to-day. And so we really couldn't do things without having a board to have that level of leadership. And so I want to thank everybody, and there'll be a lot of thanks in closing ceremonies, but I want to thank everybody that I know I've served on with the board, who has helped make this conference a reality each and every single year. And of course, the senior staff who I also serve with. We have myself, of course, we have DNS Princess, we have Lost Knowledge, Irish Jack, Lickety, and also Kit Wissendorf. And so for one of the one of the things about this year is we were going to be doing a lot more on the murder mystery theme. And so we had some ideas around clue cards from the game Clue. If you couldn't tell, some of the original and some of the original artwork and some of the other things were inspired by some of the Clue marketing from that movie decades ago. You're welcome for feeling old now, myself included. But yeah, so we decided to take some art to someone and have them make some cards for us. So this was really fun to have made, and we were gonna have this as part of some suspects you could have played around with and do. But I just want to share that with you and share who these folks are, because and you're going to learn more about them at closing, because we're going to have a long gush session about everybody who's helped the con. And these folks have been the core team for the last few years to deliver us literally through a pandemic. And it was amazing being virtual with them and even in person. And it's great once again to have brought this con to fruition this year. And of course, the senior staff, we can't do it all. So delegation is key in addition to everything we do ourselves. And so we have several people who are on staff. These are people who spend a lot of time pre-conference planning, documenting, making sure registration is available, making sure training and CFP is available. And so these folks are really the people you would see walking around in purple shirts and these are the folks who really make sure the con happens behind the scenes. So we've got Kathy Ullman who manages all the tickets. We have Justin Jones who has been doing our training CFT. We have Gimli who is on StreamUps, and actually he's right over there running the stream right now. We have Jamie Filson, who for many years has been doing our badging and also Kids Village. Brock Warner, who has been doing our Discord. So if you see the Discord layout and how it's working and everything, well, you have Brock to thank for us requesting many things to be done in Discord, and he was able to deliver all of that for us this year. So thank you, Brock, for that. Systems, who would run our knock in the in-person conference. So last several years, he's been running network operations. Noy as the volunteer coordinator. Mick Jenkins is basically my shadow. He basically takes notes of all of our meetings, schedules, things. You would have seen him walking around me entirely with a notepad or his Remarkable in hand, and making sure my brain ends up somewhere that is documentable. Because there's always something you think about and like, I need to make sure we do that. And he'll make sure that I remember that those things happen. So Mick has definitely been our brain over the last few years to make sure we get things done. Jenny Maresca coordinating the villages this year and making sure we get contacts. I think for both, she was our contact for keynotes as well, correct? Yeah, so you can thank Jenny for helping us get our keynotes this year as well. And who's Magical Craft Goddess? Jenny, obviously. Oh, Jenny, yes, Magical Craft Goddess. She would have been your conference mom, everyone. She does all sorts of cool stuff. She does the vinyl shirt printing, or whatever you do to transfer vinyl transfers for shirts. I think last year, what was the shirt she made? She went "In Mudge We Trust." Yeah. So "In Mudge We Trust." So she would do that. She made a sash for me one year for Game of Pones, which was this conference. I'm wearing most of our conference badges over the years. And so she made a sash for me one year to so I could be the leader of Odd Djibouti, which was a fun country to be the leader of. And I ran a spy network in the conference. It was fun. So I want to thank Jenny. Sparkles, which is a person who's on staff for security, as well as Zed being on security with Jocelyn, really making sure we've got lieutenants there to not only be there to support Jocelyn, but also to show that longer term leadership to everybody. And of course, we're going to thank him a little bit more later, but also Simple Skink has been a web admin and kind of helping us to get some graphics together from time to time. So I want to make sure he's recognized as well for his efforts. So Discord, we've talked about it a little already. So Discord is our primary platform for the conference as far as chat, interactions, knowing where to go. There's a lot of conversations in Discord happening around RFID, around red team, blue team, purple team. There's a lot of interesting conversations to be had. LobbyCon, there's just general chatter, there's off topic. It seems like there's some sticker exchange going on. So if you are a fan of stickers, there is a stickering happening. So be sure to drop any of your sticker artwork if you want to share stickers with other people. You can drop some dank memes. And there is also some music sharing. So if you want to share good music for people to listen to while they're at the conference and in their homes running cool things for the conference, then we can have some cool music. And I know we love some cool music while we're working in the background to listen to as well. So it'd be nice to have some cool tunes. So maybe drop some of your favorites in there. But yeah, go to discord.gg/CircleCityCon if you have not already. And when you do get in, there will be a code of conduct, which that's coming up here in a second. There will be a code of conduct channel. It's the only channel you'll have access to, essentially, and a help desk channel. All you've got to do is there's a little emoji at the end of the code of conduct. There's also a message from our Discord admin, Brock, who has told you to kindly react, meaning click an emoji, on the code of conduct to recognize that you are accepting the code of conduct. That code of conduct not only applies to Discord, but also applies to Twitch, YouTube, and other platforms we may be on. So that will apply. So I will also read it here for everybody so everyone is aware of the code of conduct. We have no tolerance for physical, verbal, sexual harassment of any human. AIs, go at it. Our code of conduct is be excellent to each other, also known as the golden rule. Failing that, it's don't be an ass or we will kick your ass out. Can we say that on Twitch? Yeah, we're saying it anyway. Asking questions of a speaker during their talk to get clarity or debate a point is not being an ass, as long as it's done at the appropriate time. Heckling or haranguing a speaker is. If you're not sure, ask or err on the side of basic decency and common courtesy. If you are doing if what you are doing would not be acceptable to have done to you, your best friend, your worst enemy, your sister, your niece, your daughter, your brother, your nephew, your son, mother, father, or any human being, then don't do it. Also, do not let another person treat anyone else that way, whether you know them or not. If someone asks you to stop, stop. If you're having an issue with a CircleCityCon participant of any type, by the way, doesn't matter what role they have in Discord, find a member of our moderators on Discord. They will alert our safety and medical response team. We will not, unfortunately, do CPR on you today, who will assist you in determining the next steps for you to feel safe and heard. So I hope everyone is able to go in and click those emojis now to make sure you signify that you recognize the code of conduct and acknowledge it, and can go on into the Discord all happy and can participate. So this conference doesn't happen without a lot of people, and so we want to thank some people, and we also want to tell you about some things that are going to be happening at the conference. We do have web hosting, so our website over the last year has been hosted at rootofpie.com, and Simple Skink, also known as Jay. I actually don't know Jay's last name. Smith. Yeah, okay. He runs Root of Pi, and he does web hosting, and he very kindly decided to say he would host it for us. So we want to thank him for keeping us up on ye old interwebs and keeping us up to date on the website. So we want to thank him for that. But yeah, check him out and see if those services are good for you as well. We do have silver sponsors. These are folks who helped us support us through this year. And so we had Indiana University Health help us with this conference, as well as 9 Star Connect. you will actually be able to see that there's a 9-Star Connect booth in Discord. There is all the way in the sponsor section. Later on today, possibly, and I know tomorrow, Shira will be in there to either be on voice channel or talk with you on chat about 9-Star. Not only does 9-Star provide services as an ISP, they also provide services for security. So they also take care of businesses that need security services, pen testing, just assessing practices, things like that, as well as I think they do some protection. But you might want to check them out and see what they have for you. If anything, it's a good conversation to have with those folks, as well as they are a wonderful partner in free training. I've been to, I think, two or three of their events now, seminar series. They do the technology seminar series. They bring in really good trainers, and it is free, or donate to, I think it's a local health charity that they have in that county in Indiana. So I think it's a $50 usually requested donation, but otherwise it's free or pay what you can. I love that model. And again, giving back to the community, supporting people, learning new skills or keeping up skills. That's what we need more of. And it's really great to see people like 9-Star step up there. We do have bronze sponsors as well to recognize: Fosivity as well as GuidePoint Security. So we want to thank them for their support and sponsorship as well. Fosivity, you will be able to actually see on CircleCityCon Live, which will be a live stream that'll be running probably tomorrow. And you'll be able to actually see an interview I'm going to do with Matt Garish of Fosivity. And I believe also for 9-Star tomorrow, Shira Danker will sit right next to me. And we'll do a little interview as well, so you can learn more about their services. But you'll learn about Fosivity, and we'll talk about what they do. But Fosivity does a lot of virtual chief information security services. And then we have GuidePoint Security, which, thank you very much, Brad Smith. You will be thanked at closing ceremonies as well. Brad Smith at GuidePoint has not only just supported us, but when he has been with other vendors, he has also supported us. So for 10 years, Brad has been a big supporter of the conference. So thank you, Brad. Yeah. Okay. I have a soundboard with sound buttons. I'm going to use them, dang it. I also want to thank our sponsors, our student sponsors and donors as well. So these folks are people who donated money to ensure when we were going to be in person that we were going to have students at the conference. So it's by their generous donations that those tickets had been made available. We did this last year as well. I think last year there were about 86 tickets that had been donated by 40 or so people, 50 maybe, or yeah, about 30 or 40 people. So it's really great to see, again, the level of support that pours out to help people. So we want to thank, there was an anonymous donation, but also Gabriel Schuler, Matthew McDougall, Matthew Garish, Gillis Jones, Doug Crass, John Behen, Matthew Takas, Garen Murphy, Brian Harden. And if you notice those little asterisks, those are people who have donated more than once, or either last year or more than once this year. So we want to thank you very much for being recognized as a repeat donor. And so thank you very much for your support. E-badge donors. So during February, March, and April, we were running a fund, and into May even, we were running a fundraiser to essentially have our first e-badge. And so there were a lot of people who put in funding to make this happen. And so I want to thank these folks on the screen here. And so everyone should have had their badge shipped to them. Yeah, so thank you very much for making these happen. And of course, it went to support the conference as well, because the badge did not cost I believe it was $120 or $125. So we want to thank you though for your donorship there and making that happen and supporting the event. And yes, thank you to those who, of course, have given multiple times throughout the last couple of years. And also thanks to Cyber City Circuits, as well as Blendster. So Cyber City Circuits is a fabricator, or I forget what they like to call themselves now, rapid prototypers of hardware. And so they have really great kits and different types of hardware accoutrement and supplies. So you should definitely check out their website. But if you need a badge made, if you need some kind of circuit board made for an application or something you want to do, they can definitely get involved and help you. I think even for events, they have a special badge bill of materials basically that they have put together, and they have a regular price for it. So we went outside that scope for this one, but they do have some really nice very affordable, very accessible badges for those who are running events to be able to provide some e-badges to folks. So this is a very good group. We're very happy for their support, and of course, Blendster, which we'll see a little bit later when we talk about villages. Blendster has just been a really good partner the last several years of the con. I think since year 2, he has been doing hardware hacking with us, year 2 or 3. And so it's been really great to see him come up and help. But when we said we want to try to do our first e-badge, he was immediately the first to raise his hand and say, I want to help. I want to do this. I want to help you. And so he put together, I think, a very, very nice badge. And there may be some fun things you can actually do with it. Maybe check out what that USB port does. We also, of course, this year have speakers. We have lots of speakers. We even have some speakers, unfortunately, who did not submit headshots, so we don't have headshots for them, but you will see their faces on stream later. But we want to thank everybody for being on here. Some of these will be familiar faces to you. Wolf's been with us actually all 10 years, off to the right of your screen there, on the old rotary telephone there. But yeah, so he's been with us all 10 years. So training or speaking, but a lot of these are repeat offenders, if you will, of CircleCityCon, and they keep coming back and giving talks. But every year we always have a good share of new speakers, either completely new to talking, giving talks, or completely new to CircleCityCon. We want to thank them all for giving time. It takes a long time, first of all, to come up with a talk topic. It takes a long time to get your CFP submission polished, submitted in, and it takes a long time to hear back whether you're accepted or not. The stress of that is real, as the date looms forward. And then you start working on your slides, because your slides are never done until the last second anyway. But these folks don't just do their 45 minutes or hour of speaking on stage. That's not the only thing they do. They work on making sure that talk is going to be polished for you, and making sure that you're going to go away learning something new. And so, yeah, these speakers are giving their time, they're giving their efforts and energies, probably even tears, into making sure that their talks are good. I'll say, even just as a speaker myself in other cons, you always feel like, why should I give this talk, right? Why me? And there's a lot of imposter syndrome that goes into giving a talk. So, I thank everyone for overcoming that and putting themselves out there and putting their face on screen and on stage, so to speak. So be sure to thank a speaker, even if you don't ask a question. Be sure to thank your speaker for coming and talking and trying to teach and share knowledge with everybody. But I especially want to thank our opening keynote, who will be on screen at 11 a.m. Eastern, that is, Eastern Daylight. Litmoose. Honestly, was really excited when I heard she was really wanting to speak at CircleCityCon and do the keynote. Was excited to do it. I was thrilled to have her acceptance of that. So be sure to check out the keynote for opening that will happen at 11 a.m. on this same stream. And also our closing keynote, Dave Kennedy, I believe Dave Kennedy was either opening or closing keynote for year 1 or 2. Do you remember, Irish?
He was definitely there year one.
Year 1. I know Dave Kennedy was there year 1. It was Father's Day year 1. And we swore we'd never do it again. And I think we did it again, didn't we, on one? Yeah, we did. We accidentally did Father's Day again.
Heckle.
Yes, heckle, the heckle mic. I need to turn it on over there. Well, I have the mute button over here for the heckle mic. But yeah, so Dave Kennedy was there year 1 with us, and you know, I believe gave not the opening keynote, because that was Kevin Beaumont. But I think either gave a closing. He did something. He helped us. He was there with us. And I know there was another time that it was like his kid's birthday or something too. So, but you know, Dave Kennedy's been a supporter of us, and he's helped us, and been with us since very early. And of course, had his own conference and has his own company that's been very successful. And so we're very happy that we're getting to close the conference out with Dave Kennedy as a closing keynote. We hope you'll enjoy both our opening and closers here, as well as all the speakers you see before you. And of course, it is not CircleCityCon without our free trainings, which, quite frankly, our free trainings was the brainchild of Rance. For those of you who are old enough now to know who Rance is, because Rance was an absolute staple and resident of many, many conferences, especially at entertainment, and providing wonderful music entertainment at night, and during the day, and just personality entertainment throughout a conference. Unfortunately, he I think it was around CircleCityCon 4, maybe 5. So that was around 2018 or 2017. Unfortunately, he passed from us. Sorry. That still gets me. But his legacy has lived on for 10 years in the form of our free trainings, because he's the one who made that call out to us early on, saying, you know what conferences don't tend to have is free trainings, and we need free trainings out there. And so we've been lucky to have many people over the years who have provided their time and efforts. It takes a lot of time to put together labs, to document things, to make sacrifices to your demo gods, to make sure that your equipment and your software and your downloads will work, and your labs will work this time. And these people really put in the hours well before the conference to make sure that things are going to run smoothly, and that you're going to learn something. So we have 3 folks who have provided training for us, 1 each day, which is good. So you don't have to worry about multiple trainings a day and possibly missing out on one. So that's a really great thing to have this year, actually. So for Friday here today, I believe starting at 1:30, right, Irish? 1 p.m. Around 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight, Kevin Bong is going to be giving a training on booting the lab, virtual machine, and logging in. His training did sell out at the wee hours of the morning. So, and by sell out, I mean free registrations, but they're all booked up. So we want to thank everyone for signing up and getting in there. If you signed up just recently, within the last, I'd say probably 12 hours, you should be receiving an email later, either during this keynote or during this opening ceremony or during keynote, to provide you more information on getting into that training. But also you can check out Discord. There is a chat for this training. Kevin has provided some information so that you can go ahead and get a jump start on downloading VMs and downloading other things, taking a look at the lab materials so that you can follow along in training and be prepared. And if you're not in that training, you can still go to Discord and you avail yourself of those resources if they're available. And even if you're not in that training, you might learn some great things from the information that's provided by Kevin. So thank you very much, Kevin. Tomorrow, Saturday, is also fully booked. And so if you haven't received information from Tom, you should receive information later today from Tom as far as getting in tomorrow, because I believe that one is a full day training, correct? I'm making Irish do work over there. Uh, so yeah, so there should be a there should be, I think, a full day of training tomorrow, and so we'll get that information to you today. But people OSINT techniques, guidelines, and guardrails. And then on Sunday, I think there last I checked, there was at least 29, perhaps 30 or so seats still left for W. Ian Douglas's training about Postman, using mock servers to increase cross-functional team productivity. So be sure to go check that. If you're not familiar with APIs or Postman or doing the things that are in that training, you can still go to training.circlecitycon.org and you can still sign up for that training. And yes, you will get into it. So be sure to check that out and register if you haven't already. And we look forward to, of course, seeing you in your free training. Villages. We have villages. So we have two villages. Tool, who's been a longtime supporter of this conference and coming and teaching people how to lockpick and bypass physical security, barriers, as well as showing you how certain barriers and security techniques can help better secure physical assets. So Tool's really great for lock sport as well. That's what they really are there for, is lock sport. So they will be in the village chat and giving some tips on that and showing you how to do some different techniques there. So be sure to check out their content. Blendster, of course, as we talked about before, I think ever since year 2 has been doing our hardware hacking village. I think last year he couldn't make it. I think level 1 did hardware for us, but Blendster has been a long time supporter of the conference as well. Him and Charles the Hat would come up and every year and do this. Well, Blendster is back and he is going to be in Discord as well, showing you some different techniques of soldering, and I'm sure and showing some different things. If you have a soldering kit, you could follow along at home. But then he has some other things to show about analyzing hardware and doing great things there. So don't know everything he's going to talk about, so I don't want to act like I know too much or start making him think that he has to do a lot of other things. But I'm sure he has a lot of interesting things to show and talk to you about. So be sure to go check out the hardware hacking village. Oh, and one more thing. CircleCityCon memories. So it's been 10 years, and that's a long time in a conference. When you think about DEF CON is what, 32 now, 31, 33, somewhere around there. We're about the third of the age of DEF CON. That's a long time. My first DEF CON was DEF CON 20. That was a long time to be around, and now we're half that. But conferences, there's a few conferences who have been going along for as long as this, but very few, sticking around past around this time. So it's really great to see 10 years for this conference, a nice round number. And with that comes a lot of great memories. There's all, like, I was tearing up about rants earlier. I'll have some stories later to talk about. Stole my boots. You'll get to hear that story later. But there's a lot of great CircleCityCon memories that we all have. And even as I have some of the staff here at the studio with me today, as we were eating dinner last night, we were sharing some different stories. I had not heard of some of the stories that some folks talked about. And then I forgot some of the stories that we were talking about. I went, oh, yes, I remember that. We have a Discord channel where you can record your CircleCityCon memories. You can leave off names to protect the guilty or innocent. And I'm sure there's some statute of limitations on some things. But if you have some fun stories to tell about CircleCityCon and fun memories, pictures that you've taken at the conference, with permission, of course, feel free to post those. And one of the things we will end up doing on CircleCityCon Live tomorrow, and probably also during closing ceremonies, is highlighting some of those stories. And if we remember some of them too, we might also get on kind of a group huddle stream on CircleCityCon Live and even talk about those and remember what we remember of those. And we're going to share those memories with you. Something important to know as well is this stream, as well as any of the talks, as well as CircleCityCon Live, we are recording those, and those are going to stay around. Even though, unfortunately, we have to close down, The CircleCityCon YouTube will be maintained and archived, so that way it is not going to shut down. It will maintain, and you will be able to see the history of CircleCityCon talks. We have a couple years of talks that aren't up there right now, and we have some title and description and other things to modify, and we're going to get those up. But the talks you see here today, if you miss one, don't worry, you will see it later. If you miss a CircleCityCon live segment that you thought was going to be really cool and you missed it, that's fine. You can see it later as well. But the CircleCityCon Memories is going to be really fun. So this is a great way to participate in the conference itself, and be able to share your love and your memories and what goes on there, and carry those memories with you, and carry them to other conferences you go to, carry those to your work and organizations, and hopefully those inspire. They've definitely inspired us over the years when people talk about stories. Like, I got my first job at CircleCityCon. I found my first hire at CircleCityCon. I've even heard people who say, I got into InfoSec because I attended one of your free trainings. And friendship, all the friends we made along the way. So there's a lot of great memories, and there's a lot of great things that this conference has done. Take that with you. That doesn't just stay at the conference. Take that with you and take it wherever you go. Whatever conference you go to, whatever local meetups you're a part of, start a local meetup, start a local conference. There's a B-Sides organization to help you start conferences, and help you figure out how to do that. And take those memories with you. And if you found something great here at CircleCityCon, you can make that same love. You can make that same community in your own areas, in your own networks, and cultivate that same mindset of giving back and community. And so now we'll just leave you to enjoy the conference. We'll be back on at 1 p.m. sharp, or sorry, 1 p.m. No, not 1 p.m. 11. I'm truncating ones here. We will be back at 11 a.m. Sharp. Don't cut yourself. And we will be back with Litmoose, who is going to give our opening keynote. We want to thank everyone, and we will see you later.
Heckle, heckle, heckle.
Bye.